Good morning, happy March 6th, and welcome back to the Leaf Riders of Wrenwood, where yesterday we got ambushed in the streets while returning to Master Laurel with some ingredients. And we didn't have the most successful combat, but we only took a couple points of damage. And in taking that damage, we did lose some ingredients. But hopefully we still have enough that we can treat the tree. So let's go ahead and tear this off. And we have Wednesday, March 6th, 2024, which is Wednesday of Frost Melt. And we are back in the throne room. And let's go ahead and read what it says. We are ready to begin. I trust you've collected the ingredients requested. Each one must be carefully prepared into a tincture first. Master Laurel helps to organize and oversee your work. Okay, and there's the hourglass that we picked up as well. We've got a bubbling cauldron here with some green substance. I don't see any treasure or pickpocket symbols. I would not pickpocket Master Laurel. I'll pick it up again just to make sure I'm not missing one, but I don't see one. There are some fairly dark places on here, which would be a good place to hide one of them. But I don't see one. Okay. Yeah. I feel like the rim of the cauldron is where they'd put it, and I don't see one there. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So we need to, number one, what do you recall about crafting potions and tinctures? So we need to roll a d20 and add our intellect. Okay. So let's do that. Okay, so that's a 13, and we are -1 for intellect, so that is a 12. So, if the result is between 8 and 14, you will be glad to have Master Laurel help oversee your work. Okay. And then number 2 to 5, we just see instructions. Okay. You will need to grind and infuse each component into a tincture. For each of the 3 ingredients, go through steps 2 to 5. Keep these notes for later. Okay. So number 2, inspect the ingredients for quality. Check the number you were able to acquire. Okay, so for oakwort we have 4, and if you have between 4 and 5, which is what we have for all of them, we will start with a base potency of 2. Okay, so now we need to grind the ingredients, which is rolling a d20 and adding strength. You must grind the selected herbs into particles that aren't too fine or large. Okay, so rolling a d20 and adding strength. Okay, that's an 11, and our strength is 0. And yes, the result is if the result is 11 or more. Okay, so we did it. The particles are perfect. Increase the potency by 1. Okay, so we're now at 3. Now we must infuse the crushed ingredients into a base oil, allowing the beneficial properties to meld. So this is a d20 plus constitution. That's a 15. And our con is +1, so that's a 16. But again, you just needed an 11 or more. So we increase the potency by 1 again. So we're at 4. And then we need to mix and emulsify. You must mix the infused oil with additional base components, emulsifying them to create a unified tincture. Okay, and that is rolling a d20 and adding wisdom. Oh, okay, a 13. And our wisdom is 0, but again, we just needed an 11. So that brings us up to a potency of 5, which is pretty great. They do have a little chart here to write it down, so I'm going to do that. So our oakwort has a potency of 5. That seems pretty good. All right. So now let's go through with the hazelroot. And once again, we had 4 or 5. So our base potency is 2. So now we grind the ingredients, which is rolling d20, adding strength. Okay, so we rolled a 6. And our strength is +0. None of these will let us change that. We do have the I thought we had a strength roll. Yeah, we do. But it's just adding +1, which brings us to 7. So that doesn't do anything. And then we have Nimblecap and Stout Seed, which is Dexterity and Constitution. But that's not this one. Okay, so this one is just, we're just going to take the 6 then. And if the result is 10 or less, the particles are too delicate. Reduce the potency by 1. Okay, so we are at 1. Now we need to infuse the oil, which is rolling a d20, adding Constitution. Okay, a 4. And so we're at 5. And we could add a d4 here. And we could even add a 1. But even if we get max here and we hit there, that's still only 5, which brings us to 9. So that is also just a failure. So the infusion lacks quality, reduce the potency by 1. Okay, so now it's 0. So the best we can have here is 1. That is not very good. Okay, mix and emulsify, which is the d20 plus wisdom. And that is a 7, and our wisdom is 0. Now we could go ahead and do the... Oh, I thought, no, we don't have wisdom. Yeah, we don't have anything to affect that either. So that is just a 7, which is also a fail, so we are at -1. I will write that down in case you can go negative. It doesn't say you can't go negative, although I kind of bet you can't. Or rather, I kind of bet what it cares about is just like, is it 0 or less or whatever. Okay. Well, our hazel root did not go very well. We rolled poorly on all of those. But we rolled well on the 3 oak warts, so we're, I'd say, fairly even. And now let's do the mud caps. So again, we start with a base potency of 2. Now we need to grind the ingredients. So d20 plus strength. Okay, so that is a 6. And that is not something we can improve enough. So we will just reduce the potency by 1, so we get down to 1. Then we need to do the infusion, which is d20 plus constitution. That's a 14. Plus 1 for con is 15. So that is good. So we increase the potency back up to 2. And now we need to mix and emulsify, which is rolling a d20 and adding wisdom. All right, and that is a 5, so back down to 1. Okay. So we did not do very well today, but that is all right. We're good on the oakwort, but the other ones are not great. We are at -1 for the hazelroot and 1 for the mudcaps. All right. Well, we will have to see how useful or not that is tomorrow. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.